Tyrone Keys, a former Mississippi State football player, came back to this his hometown, his native town. Met with this is a school that he went to, the elementary school. Met with kids and spoke to them about believing and achieving. And it's a really inspirational story behind Tyrone. And I got to share it with you all. And again, this is a segment we call Scott's Thoughts on Sunday nights. And just want to tell you, in the past few weeks, I've been lucky enough to get to know a man named Tyrone Keys, a former Callaway High School All-American, Mississippi State All-SECer, Super Bowl champion, and most recently, Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame member. His career accomplishments impress. His story inspires. But it's not solely Tyrone's story. It's a lesson and a living lineage in how sometimes the smallest people can make the largest lasting impact. As a football player, Tyrone Keys' journey led him through SEC domination at Mississippi State and Super Bowl glory in the NFL. Yet through all of his triumphs and success, he never forgot about this woman, Mary Hagan, Keys' 6th grade teacher.
So when she came from LSU as a grad and talking to us about LSU and Southeastern Conference football, and gave a chance for a kid like me to really dream, and I began to watch the Mississippi State highlights.
So much so that for 39 years, Tyrone tried to contact Mrs. Hagan. The teacher to whom he owed so much had no awareness of the impact she had made.
She expanded our awareness of what the possibilities could be. And over the years, I always thought about her.
To be honest with you, I did not know, I have a clue that this impact had reached the level it did until after we started talking.
If people was like you, you know, if more people like you, this world would be a whole lot better place. And a lot of children now,
really,
they would be so much better because you showed a lot of passion.
Trust.
In 1970 Jackson, this school, like many others, was combining students and teachers both black and white. Tyrone says at 9 years old, Mrs. Hagan was the first white person he'd ever spoke to.
You said it right, because your desk was right here. And I sat right over there.
You know, we had room up here to do all the dancing around.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I remember those kids lined up against the wall when you had too many kids in that class.
Yeah.
The times were tenuous, and Hagan and her husband withstood great criticism from peers for the young teacher's position.
This elderly lady that lived across from me, she was friends with the governor. I don't know what the deal was there, but she came over and told us that you need to get all your stuff out of here because they're plotting against you. And my husband already left, so I called him up, and he and his father came up during the middle of the night, packed up all our stuff. What y'all didn't know, I was just practically sleeping on the floor, and they were just harassing me something terrible.
You know, back in our era, when Martin Luther King had that famous quote, it's not the content of your skin, but the content of your character. She came in and she represented what true character is.
I want to thank you so much for inspiring me, continuing to inspire me. I'd like to present this to Tyrone. A teacher's gift is knowing that a student has reached his or her fullest potential. And to top that off is knowing that that student is able to return this back to the community. And Tyrone has certainly fulfilled my dream as a teacher. So Tyrone, I would like to present this very special plaque to you. And a special thank you for touching my heart, not only back in 1970, but again in 2009.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And this is for you. As you know, you got started, my journey got started here at Dawson Elementary School. And that's why I'm back here today, is to share with the students, to let them see the fruit. And I wanted to also share with them the root. So you were the root here at the school. My parents was the root at home. And I want teachers to know around the country that it's the positive words and it's the seeds that they plant within the heart of the students. And they can come full circle. Both people come together as one.
40 years ago, I was right here, walking the same halls, sitting in the same chairs that they were sitting in. So I wanted to have an opportunity to see what the picture can look like for them.
We changed plans, right? But no, when you left, that finished that whole year. Right. You know, when you left, a lot of people behind that was kind of hurt behind that. Because, you was such a lovable and respectable person. There was a lot of people behind you.
I never knew all of that. I knew we told it to me, but I didn't know what I had done to y'all.
Right.
It's a teacher's dream, knowing that you had that kind of impact on a young student, especially in elementary. You never know which child you touch and what time of day you may touch that child or in what way. It's overwhelming. Every teacher strives to help assist each student in reaching his or her highest potential, and knowing that you accomplish that goal is the ultimate.
When they first started talking at Tyrone's recent induction into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, where teacher stood beside student for the first time in nearly 4 decades, as Miss Hagan accompanied Keys as his special guest.
6 new members were added to the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame tonight during the first of a weekend of activities here in Jackson. Former USM football coaches Jeff Bauer and Jim Carmody headlined the list of Mississippi sports legends. Hugh Green, Tyrone Keys, John Stroud, and Robert Morgan were also inducted into the state's ultimate shrine for sports heroes.
It's a great feeling because it's something I never really thought about. To be in there with Walter Payton, a teammate of mine with the Chicago Bears, now joining a teammate of mine with the Bulldogs, Johnny Cooks, and then a list of all-time greats, and to be in that company with some of the greatest ever played in the state of Mississippi is a great, great feeling.
I'm very proud, very proud. Deep down inside, he's the same person now that he was then. A very hard worker, very caring person, very dependable, very trustworthy. But I'm very, very proud for him and his family. We touch the hearts of these children every day, and they've got to believe in us. They've got to know that we're sincere about what we say and do, and I think that's a big part of it.
As you begin to see and reflect back, I mean, just for us to be sitting here almost 40 years later, sitting in this classroom, and they say you don't really find yourself until you go through adversity, and you come in here and going through adversity. And of course, the journey, I always tell people this, the journey is not just for one individual, it's for everybody. And so, you bring everybody back together. And for us to be back here today, and you just shared that story with the Pope, he came down and gave you confirmation, that lets you know that you following your course, you following your calling.
What makes Mrs. Hagan and our story so different is because of the circumstances and because of the fact that she could have said, adios, I'm gone. That's courage to me. A lot of times we think football players, we have courage of going on the football field and running into each other. But in 1971 in Jackson, Mississippi, in the heart of the heat of the civil rights movement, and her compassion for us and her courage to travel back and forth from this community to her community, I just never forgot it.
Neither did she.
It was a special bonding that we had and a special trust that we had to have in one another to be successful. And from the minute we walked in the door, that connection was made.
Now lives in Tampa, Florida, runs a nonprofit organization to help kids go to college and achieve their dreams. He sent a kid who was homeless and became a valedictorian of his high school to college just a year ago.
And now, WLBT Sports. We kick off with another edition of 3 Cheers. It's a series profiling unique players and teams around the area. One JPS standout is paying it forward to another. Here's 3 cheers for the Fred Burns Scholarship Award.
I say phone home, group home. Just saw these things, took my pride and almost robbed me on my glory.
A lot of people will help me. If no one person that has got me where I am today, it's been a lot of people in my corner.
We begin our story in 2009. Howard Ballou introduced you to Fred Burns. The Wingfield Falcon was homeless, but flew through adversity to shine at Stew Pot, on the gridiron, and in the classroom as valedictorian. One of the people in Burns' corner is Super Bowl champion Tyrone Keys.
I think what Fred has done is showed everybody that regardless of your setbacks, you can make a great comeback.
Burns has accomplished even more in the last 7 years. An engineering degree, going back to Stew Pot to donate computers, and following his dream.
So I work as a software engineer at American Airlines in Dallas, Texas, full-time. On the side, I make iPhone apps. That's my, you gotta have, they say you have to have a job and a hustle, and so programming is my passion. Mr. Keys, I've been there the whole way. And he's like, you know what, Fred, we need to find a way to keep this going for the next Fred Burns, for the next person coming behind.
Tyrone paid it forward to Fred. Fred is doing the same for Jordan Jefferson. The Callaway Charger is the winner of the first Fred Burns Scholarship Award.
I played football, soccer, powerlifting. I ran track. I'm the student body vice president, National Honor Society president. I'm in a lot of organizations at school. I would say it's very comparable on how Mr. Keys did with Fred. He calls me basically every day to see how I'm doing. His father figure as well.
Like Fred, Jordan is also a valedictorian. He also decided to stay in state for college to help his home state.
Mr. Keys has helped me out with a scholarship at Jackson State, so I'll be attending Jackson State in the fall. I'll be playing football as well, and I will be majoring in mass communication. This city is full of talent, full of potential, especially in JPS. There's so much that can be told out there. It's very special.
And I just never forget, as a kid, watching all the Super Bowl games and watching Monday Night Football, and my mom said, it's time to go to bed. But I said, no, Mom, I want to play pro football one day. And I never would have ever thought that when my dad took me outside to kind of throw the ball around, that this ball would have taken me places. But I want to tell young students, the ball without education and without the proper mentoring is a disaster.
Tyrone Keys was born in Jackson, Mississippi. He attended Dawson Elementary School, where his young life was impacted forever by his 6th grade teacher, who taught him to dream big and believe in himself. Callaway High School is where he met his coach Odell Jenkins, who became his mentor. In 1981, Tyrone graduated from Mississippi State. In 1985, Tyrone Keys won his first Super Bowl championship with the Bears. Later that year, Tyrone and his teammates produced the iconic Super Bowl Shuffle, featuring Mr. Keys as the keyboardist.
We are the Bears, the shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would.
But the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the Super Bowl Shuffle was, if you listen to Walter Payton's lyrics, we're not doing it because we're greedy. We're doing it to feed the needy.
And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy.
And that was to raise a lot of money for the families in Chicago to feed them and clothe them during the winter months.
In 1993, Tyrone Keys founded All Sports Community Services Incorporated, a nonprofit mentoring and scholarship organization dedicated to helping challenged youth in Tampa Bay achieve their dream of attending college. Since 1993, All Sports assisted over 1,000 students and obtained over $20 million in support of their college education. Over the years, Tyrone Keys has received countless awards and recognition for his leadership and mentorship. He believes his goal in life is to help young people the way his teachers and coaches helped him.
Tyrone Keys understands the importance of being given an opportunity. Daily, Tyrone Keys helps others receive the same opportunity he was given. An SEC 75th Anniversary Story of Character.
This time is where he was last time, split wide to the right. Brock looking in that direction. Batted away by Tyrone Keys. That was part of their package. That was part of the scheme. He's 6'8", and he batted it down.
Buddy Ryan has a new wrinkle, and that is to put Tyrone Keys in on passing down. They have their 46. Buddy Ryan calls Keys too tall. So he said, we're going to put too tall in there because Dieter Brock is going to have a tough time throwing overs, and we want yet another tall guy in there.
Brock is only 6 feet. This was earlier today in the Bear locker room as the Bears packed in preparation to go to New Orleans for the Super Bowl engagement with the Patriots. That's Tyrone Keys getting his gear together. We're just hard by the side of that.
Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shot.
This is Speedy Willie, and I'm world class. I like running, but I love to get the pass. I practice all day and dance all night. I gotta get ready for the Sunday fight. Now I'm as smooth as a chocolate swirl. I dance a little funky, so watch me, girl. There's no one here that does it like me. My Super Bowl shuffle will set you free.
I'm Samurai Mike, I stop 'em cold. Part of the defense, big and bold. I've been jamming for quite a while, doing what's right and setting the style. Give me a chance, I'll rock you good. Nobody messing in my neighborhood. I didn't come here looking for trouble. I just came to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Known as McMahon. When I hit the turf, I've got no plan. I just throw my body all over the field. I can't dance, but I can throw the pill. I motivate the cats I like to tease. I play so cool, I aim to please. That's why you all got here on the double to catch me doing the Super Bowl shuffle.
I'm mama's boy Otis, one of a kind. The ladies all love me for my body and my mind. I'm slick on the floor as I can be. but ain't no sucker gonna get past me. Some guys are jealous of my style and class. That's why some end up on that. I didn't come here looking for trouble. I'm just getting down to the Super Bowl shuffle.
When Super Bowl Sunday finally arrived, Mike Singletary thought about the coach who was leaving and the head coach who had made good on his promise.
All I could think about was 3 years ago, this man walked in the room and said, if you just stand with me, if you just believe in me, we'll be at the dance in 3 years. And here we were.
One of the most dominant defenses ever saved its best for last.
The snap to Grogan, the blitz is on, over the left side, he goes.
Those guys, they did look like a bunch of mad dogs in that game. It looked like they almost were, that they had a contest to see who got to the quarterback.
MVP Richard Dent led a history-making defense that had 7 sacks and allowed just 7 rushing yards. In the third quarter, the Patriots had minus yards.
I'll tell you what, this defense has been incredible. They knock your socks off just to watch it. Total decimation of the AFC champion New England Patriots.
Like New England's quarterbacks, there was no escape for Walter Payton. On the game's greatest stage, Chicago's greatest player was a marked man.
Wherever Walter went, they were sure going to keep an eye on him. And that was their focus, which they did a nice job, but they forgot about everybody else. We ran a play-action pass. As soon as I faked the ball to Walter, you see in the film, there's 5, 6 guys heading his way, and the Willie's just running straight up the gut. And had I thrown it half a yard further, he might have taken it 96.
Peyton's mere presence allowed others to shine. Matt Suhey was one of 6 different Bears to score. McMahon scored twice, but the keyed up and keyed on Peyton never found the end zone. Eventually, even Peyton, along with thousands of Frozen fans back in Chicago, fixed their gaze on the fridge.
He just grabbed everything. It was kind of almost a toss to him because I got tired of getting my arm yanked out of socket.
First and goal from the 1-yard line, handoff to the fridge. Yes, William Perry has scored on a 1-yard touchdown run in the Super Bowl.
It was coming together with a group of men, and we did it. I'm a world champion. I'm the best there is.
From the start of the season, the Bears won in their own unique way.
What I remember about the Super Bowl Shuffle, I remember Richard Dent letting me listen to the musical to it. And I'm thinking, this is sound good.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
We lost to the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football in one of the most watched football games ever at that time. And after that game, we said, to get all of this, we're going to go do the Super Bowl Shuffle. We're going to make a commitment. And we made a commitment. We went to the studio that next day, which was Tuesday. And we got there in the studio at about 10 o'clock. And we recorded it. It took about 4 or 5 hours. And we recorded the Super Bowl Shuffle and released it the next week. And everybody thought we were like crazy for doing it. But I think it was like 6 weeks before the Super Bowl. And we did it, and it was a big hit. But the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the Super Bowl Shuffle was, if you listen to Walter Payton's lyrics, we're not doing it because we're greedy. We're doing it to feed the needy.
We're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl show.
And that was to raise a lot of money for families in Chicago to feed them and clothe them during the winter months.